The five main points of the agenda are first, the agrarian problem, which is related to the FARC's own history. To their 58 years, they've always had the problem of the land, of the agrarian reform, of the poor peasants, the displaced peasants. Their history is tied and brings up from the problem of land in Colombia. So the first point is the agrarian thing, how to do agrarian reform, the better use of the land, take into account their historical speech. So that was agreed, that was the first point. Second point, political participation. How are we going to reinsert ourselves into the political process? How is the FARC going to reincorporate into social, economical, political life? And how are they going to do it with all the legal problems that exist today in international law? Most of the leadership is accused in the International Criminal Court, in the Inter-American Human Rights Court, of crimes of humanity, of kidnappings, of massacres. So there has to be a transitional law, and we have to find formulas so that these guys, at least some of their leaders, can participate in politics. Not all of them, because some of them really are in a very complicated situation. But there has to be a legal way, because they're not going to give up 50 years of armed struggle to go to jail or to be extradited to the United States. So the political participation point, which is the second one, is tied to the legal point, which is the third one. What system of justice, of transitional justice, can we find to solve this problem? Another point is drug trafficking, the problem of illegal drugs. The FARC control vast zones of coca production in Colombia. They have lived from this for many years. They don't quite accept it, but it's a fact. And they're willing to cooperate and to sit down and talk what alternative development programs the government can offer in these zones, how the peasants can participate, in what measure can they cooperate in the eradication of all these crops, in the measure in which they have leadership and participation. And so that's the fourth point. The other point has to do, which is also very complex, has to do with all the Truth Commission, of all the barbarities and the horrendous things that have happened in Colombia in the last 40 years, in which the paramilitaries and the state forces and the FARC have committed terrible crimes, and there has to be elements of truth. The victims deserve to know what happened with them. So those are basically the points of the agenda we agreed on. And then there's the final point, is going to be the most complicated, is if we agree on these 5 points, the sixth one is how do we implement, apply, and verify these agreements. Let's hope we reach that stage, which is the third stage, which is going to be the longest and most complicated.